these particular articles. And as I said, this is a sample, and this is just what is posted online. There was radio and there was TV, and there were other forms of social media posts regarding this. So I'm going to go through it because this was on 20 December, this particular article. Now what we have is not only that Mr. Madlanga was involved in the Tembisa scandal, but also that his company was raided and that he's been awarded a further tender, the one that we were discussing yesterday in the purchase orders related to the further tender. So there are more information is emerging. So this is on 20 December, and we've gone through the headlines of that. And again, you would have already read this, and you would have seen that it's a very detailed report. Can you go to page 28, the next article, which is 23 December? And the other thing you'll see is that the reporting on this is really every couple of days. There's something new that emerges. So 23 December, page 28, you see that?
I see that, Commissioners.
So now, if you just look at the headline summary, the first paragraph, businessman and entrepreneur previously linked to Tembisa Hospital, fraud investigations, it says, is now entangled in a case involving the kidnapping of a woman and a child. That's the first paragraph. You see that?
I see that, Commissioners.
The second paragraph says, following a raid at his home, where expensive watches, electronics, and guns were seized, Madlanga has launched court action to overturn unlawful police action. Do you see that?
I see it, Commissioners.
And then the third paragraph says his court papers provide a rare window into the dramatic raid and his connection to high-ranking officers after his company was awarded a police health services tender worth 360 million. Now, this article is now referring to additional information. This is now not just about a firearm inspection compliance at his office. This is a raid at his home. And you've said that you and Mr. Madlanga speak regularly, and that you spoke about his struggles. Are you saying that you had no discussion with Mr. Madlanga about this raid on his home?
He never told me about the raid. I've already indicated that in my evidence in chief what he shared with me. And I've already indicated this morning, Commissioners, apologies, I was looking this side. Please bear with me. I also indicated this morning that he did inform me about the firearm inspection. Then I told him that if there's nothing wrong, you don't have to worry. So, Commissioners, I must indicate that even though the advocate is saying it doesn't make sense to her, but my job is to deal with investigations. I must focus at my province, KwaZulu-Natal. And I must tell you that even if my performance can be flagged here, over and above what I had highlighted here, in the country, the Republic of South Africa, for the past 3 financial years, excluding this one, the current one because it has not yet ended, the performance of my province, because I focus on my work, it was the one was 98% and the other two was 100% when we look into the serious commercial crime investigations. And I was carrying the country in order to achieve its objectives. You see, hence I said I don't patrol the media. And then if I came across these newspaper articles, I'm repeating again, I would have dealt with it, Commissioners, in line with what I did with the article of the 5th of March. And I would have sent it to him and ask him questions about it. So since this never came to my attention, and the issue of that his company was linked to this exposure by a whistleblower that was murdered, may her soul rest in peace, I would have dealt with it in line with this, and it would have an impact in my relationship with him, Commissioners.
Can I just ask a slightly different question? Assuming you are correct that you did not look at the newspaper articles from December to February 2022, are you aware that Mr. Madlanga had a criminal record prior to you starting a friendship with him?
I was not aware, Commissioner. I became aware when it was read in the ad hoc, ad hoc committee, that there is this long list of criminal record.
Is it not a red flag that the head of the province for the Hawks is friends with people who have criminal records and he's unaware of it, or he chooses to ignore it? I don't know which is which. Is it not a red flag?
Commissioners, if you don't know anything, there's no red flag about it, unless you were aware of it. And I must put it on record, Commissioners, that when you, in this room, I want to invite that, is there anyone in this room, when you have a friend, one goes and
Red Bull gives you wings.
it does that until in the police you profile a person when he's a subject of investigation. You don't abuse the state resources. So if I'm saying, Commissioner, in short, I was not aware, and then I've never even profiled him.
So it doesn't bother you who you associate with. You say, if they don't tell me they could be serial killers, for all I will be their friends until they tell me that they are serial killers. Is that your attitude?
You know, Commissioner, a serial killer, you might find we have inside here, I got training to that. A serial killer is a different type of a person who is a normal person within the societies and everything. And once he starts, that thing ignites. And then what will happen? He will go and kill. And then from there he comes back after a certain period of time, it comes up again. And then that is a serial killer.
But General, I don't want you to avoid my question by trying to explain to me what a serial killer is. I was simply making an example that as head of province for the Hawks, do you not check the type of people you befriend or you associate with?
I do not profile them until if I know if there is anything sinister, then I'll start to ask questions. I'll start to engage the very same person that I'm I've befriended. And that what about these things, as I've done with this article of the 5th of March, Commissioners. You know, when a relationship is starting and it's moving, until such time you find things that are sinister, then that is when you start to do those type of things. But before that, I didn't. And my responsibilities here was to deal with crime in KwaZulu-Natal.
But this is now 6-7 years later. It's not at the beginning of the friendship.
Correct, Commissioners. I didn't profile him or search for who is he, what has he done wrong with the law.
So it did not bother you that here is a person who's going into business with my son. I want to protect my son. Let me check him out to see if he has a criminal record, if my son is not entering into a business relationship with somebody who has a criminal record. All those things did not bother you.
Commissioners, I cannot go and profile a person if he does business with my son. There's a lot of other people that were doing business with my son. I didn't profile them. I became very worried once that thing was displayed at the ad hoc committee. So, on a serious note, Commissioners, I think I've responded to that. I don't do that.
General, I think two questions for me from this. You say you got concerned when things came up with the ad hoc committee. Are you saying to us that before the ad hoc committee process, you never became aware from media reports that Mr. Madlanga is implicated in serious criminal conduct? For example, there's the alleged attempted murder of his former partner, for which ultimately I think he gets arrested. And there are other things that have been reported. Are you saying to us, until the ad hoc committee, you never became aware of those kind of serious allegations against him?
Commissioner, I was responding to the criminal records of Mr. Madlanga, but to come direct to your question, remember I testified yesterday about what General Mkwanazi talked about, this thing of attempted murder on the girlfriend. I became aware there, and then over and above that, he was eventually arrested. And then I said I completely cut ties with him. And another thing is the issue of, he says the police visited him to do the firearm inspections at his office. So normally, under normal circumstances, we do not, as police, profile people that are not the subject of investigation. If a person is being profiled, you take his ID, you take his fingerprints to check who he is and so forth, that person must be a subject of investigation. Other than that, with me, I won't do it because it is not correct.
Okay. He's your friend. You refer to him as my brother. So he's not just any person. He's not me in your life, right? He's someone close to you. You become aware in the media or whatever form, but you concede that you became aware, at least as I understand you, that there were allegations about his possible involvement in the attempted murder of his ex-partner. This is before he is arrested. You become aware of that. Is your evidence that even with that allegation that's in the public domain, you still do not check on your friend and brother to see what is it about him? What is his story? You still don't check. You're happy to ignore it and then carry on with your life until he is arrested.
Commissioner, check in the sense
to do a profile of him at that point, to go and look at his record. Why are these things being said about him? Are you saying, and please keep in mind that the questions are asked of you because you are head of the Hawks. You may be in KZN, but you are head of an important institution that deals with serious crimes. So the question is asked of you in that way. You're not an ordinary citizen. You're not a junior police officer. You have a friend/brother. Allegations are made about him in the public domain that he may be involved in an attempted murder. But there's more to it, but I'm happy to discuss it on the basis of just this one allegation. At that point, you still say that, well, I've no business investigating him or finding out about him, in fact, not investigate, but finding out more about this person who's so close to me, that I'm associating with, that I'm discussing personal matters and police business with. You still say at that point you think it's not your business to find out more about him.
Commissioners, according to what I heard in that meeting on the 15th of April, the matter was under investigation, and not by me, but by the people that the general knew, General Mkwanazi. So they are responsible to do the profiling and everything. I didn't want to go and profile and do other things. I can't profile a person that is not the subject of investigation. And I think I've already indicated that slowly but for sure, after the article of the 5th of March, I was moving away, reversing away from him. I indicated it yesterday in my evidence. So what the commissioner is asking me, I didn't do it, Commissioner. I never went and profiled him.
Okay, just lastly, just to make sure, so that I make sure I understand your answer. Lastly, is your answer that even when you heard, let's say in that meeting with General Mkhwanazi, that, oh, he's being investigated for possible involvement in an attempted murder, even when you heard it in that meeting, you decided, this has nothing to do with me, I see nothing wrong in continuing to associate closely with someone who is accused or who's being investigated, because you knew in that meeting that he's being investigated, you tell us. You're saying to us that you decided after that I don't care, it's fine. I'll continue to be friends with this person who's being investigated by the police, and I'll continue to discuss with him whatever business I want to discuss with him. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm saying, Commissioner, the Commissioner is saying, associate said, after the 5th of March, I started to slowly moving out.
I'm sorry, I must interrupt you, General. I'm not talking about the 5th of March. I'm talking about the meeting with General Mkhwanazi, which is in November already, if I'm not mistaken, and where you hear, you say to us, if you heard it for the first time, and I'm prepared for purposes of this engagement, to accept that you heard it for the first time in that meeting. So forget March, which is later on. What I'm checking with you, and really I think you can give me a yes, no answer here, that you hear in that meeting that Mr. Madlanga is being investigated by the SAPS for possibly involvement in an attempted murder. You hear that in that meeting, and you tell us in your statement. You hear that in the meeting. Is your evidence to us now that even after hearing that, you had no difficulty continuing to have him as someone close to you, that you discuss whatever business you continue to discuss with him without distancing yourself from him at that point? After that point, you were happy. You thought there's nothing wrong in your continued relationship with a suspect, is really the bottom line of what I'm asking you. And if your answer is a yes, I'm happy for you to say yes, and we move on.
Can I say this, Commissioners? It was the first time I heard about that investigation. And another division is investigating that matter. I don't interfere in that, number one. Number two is that I already indicated I was moving away to this relationship that I was having with him. It has already started. And, you know, when a person is being investigated, they say there is allegations of this. I didn't have more facts until he was arrested. So the commissioner wants to know is it still okay to continue friendship with that person. My response is that the process has already started for me to move away.
Okay, General, I'm going to accept to take your answer to my question as being, you did not see anything wrong. After you found out in that meeting with General Mkhwanazi, if that was the first time you found out, after you found out there that he's being investigated by the SAPS for attempted murder, you saw nothing wrong. You didn't have a problem with the continuing relationship with him immediately after that meeting. I take that to be your answer, because you refuse to answer me directly a question that I am confident is capable of a direct answer, yes, no. You've answered it many times, and I accept it as you say you saw nothing wrong in continuing that relationship. Thank you.
My answer still stands, Commissioner.
Thank you,
The termination of the relationship was in process.
General, take you back again to these news reports. We were looking at an article on the 23rd of December 2024 in which very serious allegations are made about your friend. And if you look at the next article, page 33, also 23 December 2024, similar allegations repeated in a different newspaper. Did you understand? I just want to make sure you understood my point earlier about the kind of coverage that this issue was receiving, and that because of that, one didn't need to patrol the media in order to become informed of this. Did you understand that point that I was making?
I do not have that.
Because you keep saying you didn't patrol the media, so I think that you maybe didn't understand me.
Thank you, Commissioners. I don't have to understand something that I didn't see. I don't think it is a fair question. I can't understand something that I didn't see. You will make a finding about something that we have seen and read. But if you didn't see anything and read it, you can't make a finding or an opinion. Thank you, Commissioner.
You didn't understand what I was saying. But it's fine. Let's move on. My point remains that one did not have to patrol the media in order to become informed of all of these things that I'm putting to you. Do you understand that?
I have already said my business and focus was in KwaZulu-Natal to deal with the mandate of the DPCI KZN.
Yes, except that all of these media reports concern your friend, number one, and number two, concern matters that are very much related to your job.
Commissioners, if you didn't see anything, there's nothing that you can do. But if you saw something, and then it is within your mandate to deal with it, you need to deal with it. But I've already indicated, Commissioner.
You see, General, the problem is that you talk about this as if it related to someone you did not know at all. You have, or rather yesterday, you repeatedly referred to Mr. Madlanga not only as your friend, but also as your brother. You even, in isiZulu or isiXhosa, referred to yourself in relation to him as uBhuti. Do you remember that?
Correct, Commissioner.
Now, this is something that concerns your younger brother, you, the Bhuti. It concerns your younger brother. It's not about somebody out there whom you do not know. See, that's what makes it difficult for me and I'm sure others to comprehend. Do you wish to comment on that?
Commissioner, if I didn't see it, it puts me in a difficult position to shall have dealt with it. So my answer still remains, Commissioners. I didn't see this newspaper clip. And in our deliberations, when I met with him, my younger brother, uBhuti, he never highlighted this thing to me. The ones that you have highlighted, Commissioners, I have already given a response and an answer that this is what he told me about.
You see,
okay.
In addition to the difficulty, but I'm sure Ms. Hasim will probably come to that and with more specificity. A theme that runs through your statement is that when it comes to anything concerning Mr. Madlanga, even when you look at the texts, you either do not recall or you do not know, and if it's a text staring you in your face, you will say, yes, I do read it now, but I just do not quite recall what this was all about. That's a theme that runs through your testimony. That includes even the events at the apartment in Durban. You were conveniently going up and down to refill your glass, and I do not know how quickly you gulp up your drink, that for the most part you would not have been with the people that we're discussing. So quite conveniently, the simple point I'm making, quite conveniently, the issues that relate to Mr. Madlanga and which appear to implicate him to some wrongdoing, conveniently, you distance yourself, you don't remember. Don't you find that strange? Do you not realize that we will find that strange, or to be strange?
Commissioners, I'm a human being. I'm subjected to the characteristics of a human being. If I don't remember, and then it gives the commissioners a concern, it is an unfortunate situation. You know, I'll tell the commissioners this. When I was talking about the theft of trucks in Port Shepstone, because one was making notes, doing everything, and then collecting statements and everything, I read, because I was requested to come and talk about it. Then those things reminded me. But in relation to what we are talking about here...
Even these, you were requested to come and talk about them.
Yeah, yes, Commissioner.
In the same way you were requested to come and talk about the theft of the drugs.
I went...
But with regard to these, you don't remember. So far as they relate to Mr. Madlanga and possible complicity or